Hi there. That's me right there. My name is Pip. I'm a wee lad in Victorian England. My parents died when I was young, so I've been brought up by my sister in Southeast England.
Oh, Mum and Pop, I miss ye. Baby, I'm an escaped convict. If you don't get me some food and an iron file, I'll kill ye. Oh, right away, sir. Oh, here you are, sir. I've got the stuff. Thank you, kid. Now be gone. I don't want to see you. Oh boy, I'm finally home. I can't wait to go eat Christmas dinner. Stop, in the name of the law. Dost thou have business here, kid? Yes, I live here. Oh no, I hope I wasn't caught.
This is Joe. He's a blacksmith and my sister's husband.
Oh, hello, Pip. Welcome home. Come on in. Hey, Joe. These handcuffs are no longer broken. Now we can go catch that escaped convict over there. Wish to come with us? Sure thing. They're criminal scum. Nobody breaks the law on my watch. I'm confiscating any stolen goods. Now it's off to prison for you. Drats, I just stolen those today. Oh well, me and nobody else will only suffer now. The boy. Hope that prisoner's out of my life for good now.
Since then, many years passed where I was educated by a local family friend. Life was pretty normal until.
Oi, Pip, I got some great news for you. What's that, Joe? Mrs. Havisham's looking for a boy to come over to her place. And thanks to dear old Mr. Pumblechook, you've been allowed.
So I went to Mrs. Havisham's manor, and it would have been beautiful once, but not so much anymore. It looked untended to and almost rotting.
Welcome. This is Estella. I want you to play with her.
I'm poor, and I'm better than you. You'll never have money.
After that, I went to Mrs. Havisham's manor for many months regularly. I'd play games with Estella and push Mrs. Havisham around in a wheelchair. One day, after getting home, I went to the speakeasy to go meet up with Joe, and that's where I saw a strange man. He looked me in the eye and started to stir his drink with the same file I stole for the convict back those years ago. He gave me 2 pence, and Joe and I left. After nearly a year, Mrs. Havisham wanted me to stop visiting as she had been contented. She paid me to be an apprentice to Joe, where I worked for many years, as repayment for my duties done to her. During this time, a man named Orlick worked with Joe. I didn't like him. He never said anything directly rude to me, but I just had this constant feeling of disliking for him, as if he had one for me too. My sister didn't like him in the same manner as I. One day, they had a fight, and Orlick was sent home early. Well, during that time, I apprenticed with Orlick and Joe for a long while. During this time, I was greatly saddened by my position in life. I didn't want to be a lowly blacksmith. I wanted to be a gentleman. I had great expectations, but was stuck in a situation where I just couldn't meet them. Months after, Joe convinced me to meet with Mrs. Havisham again.
Pip, what are you doing here? I hope you don't expect anything more.
Oh, I was just wondering how you are. It's been a while.
The same way I've been the past centuries. I've sent Estella off to boarding school.
On my way home that same day, I found Orlick on the corner. Apparently the prison ships had some more escaped convicts, and there had been gunfire all day. Orlick and I met up with Joe at the speakeasy. There we found the house had been broken into, and my sister had been whacked on the head and rendered unconscious. She had been given brain damage. She was stuck in bed and couldn't coherently speak at all, and couldn't properly see even. During this time, my sister took a close liking to Orlick. Wasn't quite sure why. After that first revisit to Mrs. Havisham's, I would revisit her once a year for 4 more years. During this time, life was the same. I grew, I matured, and my teacher had nothing left to teach me. It seemed I would be stuck in the blacksmith's life, until the impossible happened.
You may refer to me as Mr. Jaggers. I've come with some good news for you. You've come into a wealthy fortune. An anonymous benefactor is wishing to give you much wealth, as long as you allow them to stay anonymous until they deem fit. You'll also go to London and learn how to be a gentleman.
A few moments later.
My name's Herb. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. I think we met before at the Havisham's Manor before, though. Oh, yes we did. Cool, let's be friends. Me boy, how are thee? Than you'll ever be, Joe. Huh. I feel kind of embarrassed that I have to be seeing Joe here. He's so poor and he's affecting my social standing. What a douche. Estella's back in town now.
We left the next day in the carriage to go back to Kent and meet with Estella.
Now that I'm a gentleman, I can finally be respected by Estella. Or nothing will have changed if she'll treat me the same.
1 week later.
Estella, I'm very excited about these instructions you have. Getting married. I love you. I've been a douche to those back in Kent, like Biddy and Joe. Been a douche. Oh, but now I have so much debt I need to worry about. Oh, and I can't pay it off because I don't have the access to my full fortune. Come on, Herbert. We need to go pay off that debt. Find out what to do with it.
Mail.
Ah!
1 eternity later.
Now I'm 21 and I have full access to my fortune. Mr. Jaggers, please, can you tell me who my benefactor is now? No. I'm so sure it's Mrs. Havisham. Like, I don't even know anyone else who's rich. It must be her, and she must plan for me to marry Estelle. There's no other thing it could be. You will miss no info.
Later.
Haha, now I'm 23. This book sure does skip a lot of time.
Arg me matey, it's me young lad.
You mean that same convict I helped back when I was 9?
Pip me boy, it's time to learn the truth. First off, me name is Magwitch. After you helped me all those years ago, I managed to escape to Australia, where I made a large fortune birding, After that, I managed to go and appreciate all that you had done for me in the past with the food and the file. And that's why I've been giving you the money all this time, for all these
You're
years.
saying you're my benefactor, and Mrs. Havisham isn't, and she's not planning for me to marry Stella? What?
I don't know who those are, but if that's what you thought, yeah, that's not happening.
Tomorrow.
So, Jaggers, is it true that Magwitch is my benefactor all along? It is all true. Oh. Oh, Magwitch, there's some shifty guy outside the door earlier. Do you know who he is?
No, how foreshadowy.
1 hour later.
So, let me get this straight. The benefactor that's been giving you hundreds of pounds per year is an escaped convict that you met over 10 years ago. Well, you probably shouldn't be using that money. It could be stolen or blood money.
No, I shouldn't. I'm gonna stop using it.
Knock knock, mind if I tell you my sad backstory? Well, too bad. Well, you see, it all started when I was a wee lad. Since then, I've always been in a life of crime, always stealing to get to the next day's food. But then I fell under the work of a crime lord named Compeyton. You see, Compeyton would destroy anybody who didn't need it anymore, such as Arthur, who he got addicted to alcohol and destroyed his life. Arg, it's a bad, rough life. But now, I seek revenge on Compeyton.
Sorry, I didn't want to tell you before to overwhelm you, but Magwitch is also Estella's father. Oh no, it all connects. What a knowledge bomb! I must say goodbye to Estella forever. I can't live with myself like this.
1 hour later.
I never loved you, and I never gave any signs I did. I belittled you and insulted you. Goodbye. By the way, Pip, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have let you think I was your benefactor all along. I really shouldn't have.
Much later.
Mail.
Okay, Herbert, so you and I are going to help Magwitch escape London, since he still is technically a convict and the cops are looking for him still after 10 years. So we're going to get a boat and go down the river and escape. By the way, Estella is now married. I don't care about anything else anymore. All I care about is getting Magwitch away safely. Sorry, I didn't want to tell you before to overwhelm you, but Magwitch is also Estella's father. I am going to spaz right now at life!
6 months later.
Ah, what a great day to go for a walk at night.
Ha ha, it's me, a character you thought was unimportant earlier. One that used to work with your brother and had a fight with your sister at one point. Because you inconvenienced me before in the past. I'm the one who hit your sister on the head and gave her brain damage, which led to her death. And now, I'm going to kill you for this inconvenience.
I'll save you, Pip!
Oh no. Ah! No problem. I came to tell you the boat's ready. You can leave with Magwitch in the morning.
Oh no, Maywitch! Compton has found out that you're leaving and is on the other boat. Arg, that won't do. I'm gonna get him. Dar! Splash. Oh no! What are you doing? Ah, I'm gonna get that Maywitch guy. Splash. Maywitch. Ah. Ah. Arg, I've drowned him, me lad. Oh no, the police from the other boat are taking me away to prison. Ah, I'm gonna be hung for murder.
1 week later.
After Maywitch died, I fell into depression. He had meant so much to me after he gave me all that money and all the time I spent with him. I fell into his deep sickness and only managed to escape after Joe.
Pip, I am here. Be well now. Thank you, Joe. I'm suddenly better now. Wow. I've learned so much from my past mistakes. I was a douche, I was a snob, I was awful to everyone who I loved. But now I've learned. I can make myself better. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna marry Biddy, my childhood best friend. I've also now married your childhood friend Biddy, who you had a very complex relationship with before and is quite a bit younger than I. But she's taught me how to read and write finally. You weren't able to do that before, so... Well, that's it for me then. I'm gonna join Herbert in going to Cairo and... yeah, bye.
Epilogue.
It's been 11 years since I found out that Joe and Biddy married. I'm still a bachelor, but I'm okay with it. I decided to return to Kent to visit with Joe and Biddy. But first, I decided to stop at the old manor of Mrs. Havisham.
Huh. It really saddens me what happened to this manor. All that's left is this one tree now.